Chapter 3, problem number 6. Let me read the question first, and then we'll show you how to lay out this problem and solve it. A football is kicked at ground level with a speed of 18.0 meters per second at an angle of 35.0 degrees to the horizontal. How much later does it hit the ground? Okay, here's a football right here, and you're going to kick it at a 35 degrees angle with an initial kick or initial velocity of 18.0 meters per second. And the question is, I'm going to write this out because it's a different way of saying it. How much later? Before it hit, or does it hit the ground? Well, that's a T question. It's time. Time is equal to what? How much later? If he kicks it here, how much later until it lands over here on the ground? Notice that I've broken out the VOY. You could also break out a VOX, but we're only going to use the VOY. So if we find the VOY, we can find the T. In the y direction, our equation of motion is y equals y naught plus VOY times t plus 1/2 a of y t squared. A of y is a minus g because gravity is going down. Y naught is 0. And y is 0. Now look at this diagram, why I picked that. Here's your y naught over here where you kicked the ball. And if you're on a level playing field, y is also equal to 0. Okay? Because it comes back down and comes back in the y direction, it's still 0. So we go back to this equation then. Y naught goes to 0. Y goes to 0. And we get V naught y t plus 1/2 ay t squared, where ay is g. Also, we're going to calculate what VOY is. I mentioned before we had put it on our diagram, and if you remember, VOY is equal to VO sine of theta. That's one of those equations you need to memorize. And if we use the numbers given, it would be VO was 18.0 meters per second times the sine of 35.0 degrees. So VOY is 10.32 meters per second. And if I use this equation up here, 0 equals 0 plus 10.32 t plus 1/2 minus gt squared, I get the quadratic equation that looks like this. And you know that you can solve that where this is your A function, this is your B function, and this is your C function. Or on your calculator it's called A2, A1, A0. If you solve that for t, you get 2.106, but we know that we need to reduce this to 3 significant figures, So we have to reduce this to 3 significant figures. We round off the 0 to a 1, so it's 2.11 seconds. That's how long this ball was flying in the air, is 2.11 seconds.